So this puzzle has one or two ideas that are interesting in the break-in that must be understood to even start. First of all, you have this row. We already saw that kind of logic already in this turn, but the point is that you need this one to be the end of the puzzle or to be a recoil, but if it's a recoil, it must be a recoil from horizontal moves. So in other words, you must end here. The problem is that you can't just do whatever you want and end here without touching the whole thing that you have done. So you must go down somewhere and you must return. That's the point, that you at a certain point you must go down and then you must go up again. So this is, as I said, pretty much forced, okay? You must do that. But now there is a little problem. And the problem is that when you know that you must end in this row, and you know that you must end in this row because it's the end the cell or it's the end in row, so you must end there. When you do that, this means that you are using this narrow 3x5 rectangle to go down and up. And you must use that rectangle because it's like a narrow path, but it's not like you have nothing in the middle. So you have those two paths and nothing in between, but you have those. You have those in the middle, but, and this is the key point, you can't really use the cells in the middle. Why you can't use the cells in the middle? Because every time you try to use the cells in the middle, like, I don't know, imagine that you are, I don't know, you are doing that, for example. When you do this, you are just closing the loop. Because one of the loops is made before the other one. So the first one that goes down, if you try to use the middle one at a certain point, and then you try to return, and you must return because you have this cell here, so at a certain point you must return, you are just closing. And this means that to do that, you must do this and this. You are just forced to do this and this. Now, though, this is the important thing. We don't know the direction of this. We don't know if you're going down here and up here or vice versa, okay? The problem is that one of those two creates a wall. I was talking about a wall like that in one of the previous puzzles we solved, and here you're using the same concept. Why? Because first of all, you are connecting this way and this way, okay? This is all done, this is all forced. At this point, and I think you can clearly see that if you try to, clearly you can't go down, but if you now try to just, you just try to go this way, you are clearly using one gray spot here. Now, if you count the amount of moves that you have down here, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 moves. So to do that, you are closing these, and this. And now this entire part of the grid is clearly just not working. So you can tell, but why this goes down? Well, it goes down because if you are in this side of the grid, you can't just connect to the other side, because if you try to do so, you are left with less than 4 moves down this way. So, in other words, the only way to make this work is to go to the right, use this one going down, and use this one going up. So this connects this way, and this connects this way. When you do that, of course, you can't continue this way, because this would stop everything, so this one must be just not connected this way. And you have this start. That's the whole point. Now that you have this start, of course, you are connecting twice here, and now those 4 moves are creating the wall I was talking about. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 cells are the walls. Not talking about what happens to the left, of course, but you get what happens to the right, at least. Now this means that here must continue this way, and when you do that, now I can't continue this way, because if I do that, I would recoil here, and I can't recoil here, because this one clearly recoils here, because I have done nothing before that point. But the other one would recoil here, and I can't, so in other words, here I must go just down. So we have all of this. Now, next step. At this point, my question is, can I go down? And the answer is I can't. Why? Because of the wall. This wall still continues to work. Why? Because if I try to go down, now I must go to the right and occupy one of the cells that I use it for this. And again, this 3x5 rectangle does a lot. So I must continue to the right. Now it's the last time I can go down, so I must go down. I don't have any other choices to go down, so I must take that as soon as I can. And when I do that, I can't continue. And of course I can't go to the left, because again, now I would take this, so I must go to the right. And now that I go to the right, I can't go continue to the right because I have the wall, so I must go down. I can't go up, of course, because I can't reach the top row of the side. So I must go here. And when I go here, I can't go down. And I can't go to the left, because now I can't go down again. And I can't continue this way, because now I can't go this way, because now I must continue, and I can't. So again, I must go this way. Now you can tell, okay, we can continue. No, we can't. We just can't continue. So those are never recoils. But the problem is, and that's where the puzzle starts to get complicated. Now from this point, you can't tell, because in theory you can go down, in theory you can continue this way. Like I will show you some examples. This one works. Or, I don't know, maybe this one works. Or this maybe works. Yeah, this works. So you have many moves that can work, and you can't exactly like connect these parts of the puzzle. And we will take a while before connecting this. But what we know for sure is that the end of the puzzle is up here. So this means that some of the cells that you have below and above are not the ends of the puzzle. Like this one is not part of the thing because it's not the end of the puzzle. And the same applies for some other cells that are very relevant. I'm talking about these. Now that I know this thing, clearly also this one is not part of the path, and I think it's pretty clear that it's not part of the path. Why I'm saying that? Because if this is true, clearly I can't go this way, because it's in the other direction. I mean, we already talked about that a lot, and this direction has nothing to recoil from this. So those are never part of the puzzle, and those two can be X'd. Now that I'm here, clearly I can't go up here, clearly I can't go this way, because I would need to make too many things, so I can't make all of these, and so I can just go here. Now, let's return again to the wall. I'm not talking about the Pink Floyd album, of course. I'm talking about the rectangle in the middle and the walls that the rectangle creates. What do I mean? I mean, this thing, we used the other one, okay? But the one to the left is also important. Why it's important? It's important because this move to the left is still made by 4 vertical moves. It's just in the other direction. But now, if you look down, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 possible moves, okay? Why this is important? This is important because those 5 moves down, can't all of them be recoils, because you must go through here, because you are in the other side, in the bottom right of the puzzle. You must go to the bottom left to continue up. So because you know globally that the path of the well, the puzzle is top right, bottom left, top left, okay? So because you are doing that, this means that at a certain point you must go through here, or through here. And this means that this one and this one must be recoils from this vertical stripe. And you must do that, because if you try to continue, you have too many vertical recoils. And if you don't use those two, you must use every one of those. And now you can't just connect to the from the bottom right to the bottom left. In other words, this one connects this way. So we have all of these, okay, at the moment. We just have all of this. Now, another of the problems of this being like that is the fact that now that we know that this one is not a recoil, an horizontal recoil, we can say some other stuff. What do I mean? Like clearly this one, and this one are not connected by the path, okay? Now imagine that this cell is a recoil from horizontal moves, okay? So it must be, if this is the case, it must be, oh, I mean, yeah, of course, sorry, I wanted to say that clear. Okay, I missed the fact that it can't be a path, but I mean, of course it can't be a path, okay? So it's again this side that can't be, okay? But yeah, I didn't say that, but I think it's pretty clear, right? That it can't be like that. So what I wanted to say is this cell can't be a recoil from the left. The reason why it can't be a recoil from the left will be clear in a bit of time. I can't exactly tell you that now because it requires some knowledge, but we will use that in some moments. Because the only possible way for this to be a recoil from the left is if you do that, and now you have something that that just clashes. You will see in some minutes, okay? Not in a minute, but in some minutes. But please follow me because it's relevant. It's very relevant, okay? So another relevant point here is what's going on with this cell to the right. This cell to the right is, well, it can't be a recoil going down. It just can't be a recoil going down, of course. So it must be a recoil going left somewhere. Now, I have many options to recoil from the left, okay? But clearly I can't make a recoil here, because if it is a recoil here, it will take this cell, because this cell is free before I get to this point. Again, it's a matter of time. So this one must be a recoil made in this side. Now, clearly it can't be this. I mean, how do you just reach this part to do that, okay? So it can't be that. Now, it could in theory be this one or this one, but have a look if it's this one. If this one is this, it means that or I'm going this way, and then I'm like clearly doing all of this stuff, but then again, this is not working for connectivity. Or I'm going up, and then I'm going here, and then I'm going down. But then this cell must be recoiled before this one, so this one can't be recoiled at that point, okay? All of these means that this cell is just the recoil of this cell. And now again, I can't go from up, from down, because if I go from down, then for connectivity reasons, this one will break. I think it's pretty clear that it breaks, okay? Because we are in the opposite direction of the border. So in other words, I must do this. When I do that, I must connect all the way from here. And now I have a problem. Because if I try to continue this way, so I have 3 moves to the right, I will take this cell before its path. So this one would be recoiled before. So I can't do that, and this means that I must do that. And so those two moves are this one and this one in the middle. So now this one goes down, of course. I can't go to the left for obvious reasons. And let me check in my... okay, I have just some access in my screen that are clearly access, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, I think we can continue. Let me check the chat for a second. Yeah, nothing in the chat, fine. So let me continue from this point. At this point of the puzzle, we must notice that there are some cool things that we can say. First of all, this one can't be done. Why? Because of the reasons we said earlier about another of the puzzles. So like, if this is true, then this means that this cell is free. But if it's free, it's used by this one to be recoiled, so this one can't be made. I can't do that because I don't have the possibility to recoil this side, so I must go down. And when I go down this way now, I have those two moves going down, of course. Now I can't continue this way down because this creates problems, so I must go to the left and this one must be recoiled. Again, same stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. Now I have a problem if this one goes this way up, because if this goes this way, now this cell that I know its path would be recoiled from this move because it's free when I make this move. So this one can't be that, so it must be like that. Like it's the opposite of what we said already, Timotap, for example, because if you try to do that, then this one must be recoiled because this is free. But then, because we are using that cell, we can do that, and so we must do all of this. Of course, this one continues down, and so this one must continue this way now. And now this cell must recoil down here, of course, so this one must recoil above somewhere. I don't know where, but it must recoil there. Next step from this point is that, of course, here I can't go through here, because if I try to go this way, now I must go down and I have nothing to recoil, so I must continue this way. This is like closing, and we have all of these. Now, next step. What is this thing up here? This one. This one must be a recoil vertical, because I can't recoil horizontally from this direction, because this one and this one would be recoiled before. They are after, so I can't do that. Because I just can't do that, this one must be a recoil going downwards. Why I can't go upwards? I mean, I can't for two reasons. One is just borders, logic. The other one is, if I try to do that, I will take this one and this one before I even reach this cell. So this one must be this cell or this move. Now, the problem is that if I take this move, I have problems, because this move now left this cell. So if I take also this one, then it's fine. But now I take this and I must go up, and I can't. So this just can't do that. Sorry. So if I take this and I try to go to the left, I must return. So I must use this cell. When I use this cell, I just connect this way. And of course this one takes this, and now I can't go down again. Why? Because again, I do that and then I must go up, and I can't. So I must turn exactly now. All of this means that I can't take this cell, I can't take this cell, I can't take this cell. Those are all recoils. And now this move just recoils here. This means that this one continues this way. And yeah, and we're done. And we're done with this. Not with the puzzle, of course, but we're done with some of the logic, at least. So yeah. Now, the logic that we were using well, can be used again and again and again to say that this one can't go to the left, because then again this one would be a recoil from above because it's free. So this one must go down, and now I could turn here, but the problem is that it's the same problem again, because I have two moves going up. So if I try to go this way, now this one and this one would be taken, or just this one and another thing down if this one is taken by something going horizontally. So in other words, again, I can't just turn this way, I must continue down. And so now I have this thing of 1, 2, and 3 moves downwards. Now, this means that from this point, I can't just continue to the left, because if I do that, now I'm closing this, and now I must go down, but if I go down here, I have 3 moves here, and 1 move here, that are 4 moves that must be recoiled above, so I would take 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this one can't connect ever to the other side of the grid. So this move can't work, of course, and this means that I must go down this way, and now I must continue this way, and continue this way again, so those two are taken. So all of this is done at this point. I will just check again the chat to see if I missed some messages, and then we will continue. Of course, this one is not taken anymore because it was just for the example. And I think we have some stuff here. We absolutely have some stuff going on at this point. Let me see if I'm just missing something from my screenshots. No, I don't, so let me read them. This cell must be pathed, but it's after the segment I'm looking at, so it appears free at the time of segment I'm investigating, but if the cell I'm investigating is valid, then it's a recoil cell and blocking the required path. Yes, exactly. Exactly like that. So, yeah, it's a piece of logic that some puzzles used, and I'm pretty happy with that. Consider that I used that specific reasoning in no longer introduction, in the 4th of the puzzles of the tutorials. But for what I saw of people like solving that, people didn't really use that much. I don't know if they noticed how to use that, but there are some points in which you can use that, like multiple times. So, yeah, probably I didn't telegraph that very well, but yeah, it's there. Anyway, so, okay, we are at this point. Now that we are at this point, now I want to ask something, because can I ever do that move? And the answer is not, because I don't have 3 recoils down, so I can't recoil to this way, so I must connect finally. Because I must connect, this one is always taken, and those 2 moves are just connecting stuff that are clearly here and here, because are the first 2 moves. And this means that those 2 that now we are near the start of the puzzle. That's my point, because everything I do here will not involve what's happening in this part of the grid. Okay, so this means that those things are just forcing those 2 recoils, those 2 moves. So this one must go to the left, and that clearly recoils this cell. And now I could in theory go down, but if I go down here, I can't go to the left because I have no recoils, and I go down again, I can't go to the left because I have no recoils. So from this point I must go to the left again, creating the using the last recoil possible. And now that I'm here, now there is a problem. Why? Because of what I was trying to say earlier about the things that I have here. So, yeah, just please forgive me to anticipating that a little bit, but the point is this. Let me try to explain. If this move, this cell, this one that I am tilting with the axis, in which I'm switching the axis, this one, imagine that this move is an horizontal recoil. This means that I'm recoiling this one before in some ways, and then this one must be a recoil made with this, okay? All of this means that I must use this recoil before. But I have a problem here, and the problem is this cell. We know already that this cell is a move from this long straight vertical stripe. So whenever I make this move, or the other move, or anything else, I must use this cell before I use this one or this one. But this move must be used for one of those moves, for the last move of this one. This means that I'm not allowed to make this move, and I'm not allowed to make this move to force this one. And this means that this move must be a vertical one. And now I have a problem, because this move that is a vertical one must be a vertical that is not on the upper side, because I have all the axes and the wall. And so if I try to count, the only way to make this move work is to do 1, 2, and 3, using 1, 2, and 3. Here's another way. If I try to go down and then I try to continue, this one is already recoiling this cell, so at this point I don't have enough space to make all the others, so this one is just forced. Those are 3 moves that force all of these, and this one now will force this cell. Of course, this one forced this one as well, and we have this other stripe. So this column, this entire column, is all made by vertical stripes of some kind, with just this one that is made by an horizontal move, and the 2 times the path passes this way and this way. But all the other stuff is vertical or horizontal, and very long as well. So we have all of this. And now that we have all of these, clearly I can't continue this way, so I must go down. And when I go down this way, I'm clearly using the first one that I can use. But remember that you have this one, so this one is taken because of this. So if you try to think about those things, this move is clearly this one, and now this move, it could be this one if I'm not going down again, but I don't know if I'm doing that. But in reality I know. Why? Because if I try to go down again, I can't turn to the left, and now I can't clearly go down again, so I must turn this way. This one takes this, and I'm fine. And now all of this means that I have another piece of logic that is interesting. I can't have moves going down here. There aren't moves down here. So now this move must be made by the first move that reaches it. It can't be a move that goes to the right here. Can't be a move going down here. So it must be this move, exactly this move. And we are completed. Well, we completed the 3x5 rectangle in the middle with the 2 stripes vertical and 1 stripe of axis. Next step. From this side, we already said that those are 4 axes, so I need exactly 4 axes, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so this one must continue this way, and this one is closed, and so I can't continue to the right, sorry, to the left. And this is probably the wall thing that I could do here, I guess. Yeah, it is. So, okay. Again, looking sometimes at the messages, even if you are all very silent. Okay. I'm just listening. Yeah. Perfect. I always have a look because I still want to be sure that the stream is on, just because of that. Because I'm not being with my traditional setup is not the best thing ever. That's I can tell that, at least. So, yeah. Now, at this point, we have something else that we can say. And that thing... okay, this is another of the hard deductions, honestly. And it's about some of the cells that I will just show you in a second. And those are 1 and 2. Those two cells. I don't know if you see, but it's those two cells at the right, bottom right. Those two cells that I'm just flashing here are very interesting. Why? Because they can't be vertical moves at all. You just can't make vertical moves here. So, going up, I mean. So it means that they must be horizontal moves made in this rectangle. But now, look for a second at what's going on. To those, for those moves to be vertical moves, to be horizontal recoils, this means that I must use also those two to be horizontal recoils. Why? Because I have only one way to make these moves vertical recoils, and that is here, that is after what happens in the right, in the bottom left. So, I mean, in this thing that I have here, in this rectangle down here, I need exactly, and I mean exactly, 2 moves going to the left in each row. Now, it's not that easy to make that. Why I'm saying that? Because, well, first of all, I can clearly do this. I can make two moves at the same time. But now, when I make those 2 moves at the same time, how can I make the 2 moves up? Like, I do that, I break, because I have those 2 before. I mean, at least one of them is made before. Unless I do something very strange, I mean, okay? Unless I do something very strange, it's pretty hard to do that. So, like bear with me for a second. I know that I'm not in this upper side of the grid, because from this point I can't go up, because now I can turn and I can turn again, so I must connect, but I know that I can't connect because I must reach this rectangle down here, okay? So from this side I must go down. And when I go down from this side, I mean, yeah, okay, I could do that, and then what if I want to be very, very fancy with these lines? I could, I don't know, to use this one before, I must use a vertical move somewhere, and now I just, like this doesn't connect, that's the point, okay? So I can't really do that. There is no way I just make these, like those 2 moves. But if it's not true, and it's not those 2 moves, clearly it's not the opposite, because, I mean, how can you make the opposite, okay? There is no way. There is absolutely no way. Now, there are other options if you start from here or not. That's the big question. And my answer is there aren't. Because if you try to make this stripe, okay, maybe you can make one of the moves here, and this one is trapped. You can make these, but now this one is trapped, because this one must go in this direction again, and it's all not working. And so the only way is to make those 2. And we already said that this doesn't work, okay? So what I mean is that we can't do that. So what can we do? Like, we can just connect those in different directions, probably. Like you do these, for example. Like you try to connect this way, but this breaks because you need 2 moves upwards here, and you just can't do that. The whole thing, all this thing together, means that you have only one option. And that option is if you do this thing. Please also remember that we said that we don't have moves down here, so all of these are just recoils. We already know that, okay? because of what happens here. We already discussed at that point. But yeah, we have this, and we must do that. That's the point, that we can't ever connect those two things in any other ways that create two different recoils in this side in each row. And I mean, remember that those are recoils, right recoils, so they are moves to the left. And how can ever you do that if you don't do this serpentine? And this connects 2 times up. So like you make those 2 moves, and at the same time you make those 2 moves down, you make these, you make these, those that are the 2 moves that we wanted, you make all of these that are the 2 moves that we wanted, and then you make this move and this move that are vertical moves, and this one that is another vertical move but in the other direction. So we know all of this. Now I will read the chat, because if something is not clear, I will try to explain it a little bit better, but I hope it's clear, or at least clear enough. And before doing that, I'll just look at my screens to see if everything is properly done. I think it's the case. Yeah. Okay. Nothing to worry about, it seems. Perfect. Next step. Now that we know that we are doing this, we can't go down here. Why I pressed this recoil? Same reason. If you do that, this one is empty, so we're using that for this. I mean, yeah. So we must go to the right here. When we go to the right here, we must use this. So we can't continue here at all. So we must go up. When we go up this way, we are recoiling this cell down. And then oh yeah, okay, and then we have okay, this step is not very easy to see. It's absolutely not very easy to see. But I will tell it's not that hard. It's just not exactly simple to see. We are making 2 steps, one after the other, that are a bit wild. So, like, please follow. It's not that that's strange to tell or to explain, but it's not the easiest step to see. First of all, I know for sure that I can't make this move. Okay, you can tell me that this is a bit strange that we are going there. I think that people are meant to see that before, but I saw that now, so... but follow me. The point is this. You can't make this move in this direction, because this one would take this cell. And when you do that, you can't go down, you have nothing. And now you must make 2 moves to the right, to the left, and you don't have enough recoils. So you can't do that. You just can't do that. Sorry. Come on. Next possibility is that you do that, and this is just wrong because this possibility is not working. So this cell is never, and I mean never, part of the path. So it's a recoil. Now we have a problem though, because if you look at this column here, in this column, going down, we have something down here in the little thing that I'm highlighting, and this cell down here, this recoil down here at the bottom, and both of them, what I mean is that one of those 2 in the middle is made by a vertical move that is this one or this one. And only one of those moves is made that way. So only this or this. We don't know which one of those 2 is taken yet. But one of them is taken, and so you have this one or this one that are horizontal moves. The other one must be a vertical move. It's a recoil for a vertical move, and this one at the bottom is another vertical move. So you have two vertical moves in this column, and you have only two options to make those vertical moves that are exactly those two. So you know for sure that you're doing that. And now you can't make this because this cell would be empty and you're using that and you can't. So you must continue this way. So you can place that part of the path considering that you have in the column this one that now is recoiled and one of those two things in the middle and that we don't know which one of those is yet to be a vertical recoil or a horizontal recoil. But what I know for sure is that one of them is a vertical recoil from above. So you have those two moves. The other step, that was the first step, okay? That was just the first step. The other step that we are using here is the fact that from the bottom right, we know some recoiling that must be applied in the top right. What I mean is, if you look at the columns, you can see that here you need one recoil in the third to last column. You need one recoil that's gonna happen in this column above. Here I have two recoils that happen above, so I need two recoils in this somewhere. And here I have 1, 2, 3, those three recoils that must happen in these three. So I need 3, 2, and 1, respectively in those columns. Also, I know for sure, and I mean for sure, that in this one, this column, I need another recoil from down. Probably this one, but I'm not sure, okay? So, remembering all of these, now my question is, can I ever go to the right here? And my answer is that I can't. Now, I can understand that it could be a bit strange, the fact that I can't, but follow me. If this is true, now I must go down, and I must go down twice. Okay? So, now I must go to the left, and this is forced. And now from this point, I remember that here I need 2 different recoils, and here I need 3 different recoils, okay? Now, if this is true, and here I need 3 different recoils, it means that I must pass through here, 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 or here. I have no other options. So, let's follow the possibilities that we have from this point. If I try to go up, and then I go here, I just break because this step doesn't add anything. So I can't go up. If I go this way, now I must continue, because again, I need 3 recoils here, and I can't do that. I absolutely... wait. Okay, sorry. And I just can't do that. So I can't continue this way, because this one is not a recoil possible. So I must go down. When I go down here, I have 2 options again. If I go here, now it's not enough, because I can't return up in any case. So here I can't connect, and this is wrong. If I go this way now, I have my recoil from this, that is this one. And of course it's fine. But now I know that I must continue this way, because I'm this column, and I know that in this column I must go straight. And when I go straight here, what can I ever do? That's the big question. because clearly I can't continue this way because I don't have anything there. Like, I just can't. If I go here, I'll recoil another one in this column, and I can't do that. And if I go up, the same thing applies. And if I go down, I still, with this move, will recoil here, and I can't, because those can't be recoiled from this side. All of this means that I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that. In other words, I must go down. Now that I know that I must go down, everything is different. What I mean with that? I mean that it's clearly easier now to see that now I can't go to the right. It's just forced to not go to the right because then I don't have still enough space because those three things are just taken. It's this one, and this one, and I now can't. Now I can't just go straight, so I must go here. I can't go here. Now I can't go this way because every time I reach this I must go straight and I can't. So I must go down again. Now that I go again, I take this, I can't continue down. If I go to the right, here I'm taking a cell here and so I can't. So I must go here. When I go here, I must go straight, so I continue this way, I take this cell. When I go here, I must go, I can't go up because same problem. I can't go down because same problems always. As you can see, this would create a lot of non-recoils. Sorry. So all of this means that I must continue here. When I continue here, I recoil here, and from this point I must go down. And now that I must go down, again, I can't do that because when I do that, I'm recoiling a stuff that can't be recoiled. The point is that in this side, those three things must be recoiled here, here, and here, this point. So I can't exactly go here because I would recoil a thing that can't be recoiled, so I must continue this way. And now we just connected half of the grid. Now that we connected half of the grid, I will read the chat to see if everything is sound before doing the next steps. The cogito is not convinced? Yeah? Please tell me. It is indeed. Yeah, it is. Honestly, the fact that you always use the fact that you have that horizontal stripe in every of those like things, it's a bit case checky, and maybe I missed a point in there, but it doesn't feel like non-useful because you are always just trying to connect that point to that other point. But yeah, I don't know if something was missed on my side or on Setter's side of it was just intended. I personally think that it's not just it's not something that can tell too much, but I think that the fact that you are always using that horizontal stripe and that you can just draw very easily. I mean, I'm very prone to look ahead in that terms, so yeah. You're always free to think whatever you want, of course. So, half grid connected, yeah. And now, yeah, now it's, okay. Now it's easier. Now it's absolutely easier, but you must follow for a bit me, because we are leaving the part at the bottom for another moment. You can say, but why? You are just there now. Yeah, but the big problem is that what we did was not involved to understand what's going on in the bottom left. It was involved to understand what's going on in the top left. Why? Because of this cell. in the middle half. What I mean is, can I ever go up from this point? And the answer is no, I can't. Why? Because if I do that, I must go 2 times to the left, so I'm taking this one and this one. But now I can't continue here, so I must go down. When I go down, I take this cell, and now I can't go down anymore. But the problem is that this cell used this. And now I can't go to the left anymore. So I get stuck. In other words, yeah, like the cleanest thing is that you make 2 moves to the left, 1 move down, and then you're stuck. So all of this means that you're going down, and then now you're going to the left, and then now you're going to the left again. And this one takes this, of course. And those 2 cells that go to the left take this cell and this cell here. Now that we know this, we still have one of the hardest steps of the puzzle, in my opinion. Yeah. That is all about what's happening to this cell here. This step that you have here can't be made by a vertical move. If you try to do that in every time, you just break the puzzle. Why? Because of this cell. This cell for time can't ever be reached. You can try, of course, but you will see that nothing works. This thing is just made after, because it's the end, and so the only way for this to be a recoil is from a horizontal move, but that horizontal move can't ever leave, so you just can't do that. This means something. First of all, this means that this cell is never in the path. Secondly, it means that this move that is the one we are talking about is never, and I mean never, a vertical move. So it's an horizontal move. And because it's an horizontal move, my question now is, can it be this one? And the answer is no, it can't. Why it can't? It's not that easy to see. So we need to understand something more, but yeah, I'm trying to let you follow why I'm talking about this, about everything I'm talking about. So I'm trying to understand where this move is recoiled. So just notice that this cell from here can't continue here because you can't, and you can't go down because this cell would be empty, and so it must be a recoil from the right, okay? So use same thing that we used already. So this one must be a move that goes up, and now I can't continue this way, so I must go up again. Okay, I think that all of this is forced and very easily findable. So you must continue this way, okay? And I still think that everything you're seeing here is pretty much easy to see, okay? Now this means that in this row, you need 2 moves that are recoiled with horizontal moves to the left. And now, and that's where things get wild a little bit. And that's why I'm saying that this is one of the hardest steps of the puzzle. You can't do that. Now you can ask why you can do that. I mean, yeah, I can understand that it's not like the easiest thing to say. The fact is this, you can't go here from above. It's pretty clean, right? That you can do that. Because if you try to make that move, you are on the wrong side of your path. How can you ever do that? There is a point in which you must connect this thing with stuff above, and then you must end up. You just can't do that. So all of this means that this is not what happens if this is the case. So you must go from this other side. And now, though, we have a problem. We have a big problem now. Why? Because I can't connect this way. Now, imagine that I want to go down. If I try to go down, I can't turn, so you must go down again. And now this one is trapped, so I must turn up from here. But remember that we said that here we need 2 moves to the left. Where do we make those moves? That's my question. Where do we make those moves? Like, one of those moves could be this one. Okay? That's fine. And the other one? Like, if you try to do that, you must make other 2 moves up that are clearly this one, and this one. So you have used all of your moves. And now here you must connect this way. All of these seems to work, okay? All of these seems to work at the moment. But now I have a question. How do you ever recoil this cell? The cell down? You just can't. Because we are using these before. Because at the point that we are here, we can't just go down, recoil that, and go up again. It's just not working, clearly. So, when you do that move, you can't use this. Because you can't use this, you must use other 2 moves, and the other 2 moves must be this one and this one. So, we are making all of those moves. And now, does anyone see a problem here? Like, you can't clearly go up, because this one just can't connect to the other side. So, I mean, at a certain point, those 2 things must connect, okay? So, because you are here, this one must end to the top left, to the top row in some ways. So this one must go down. And now you must go down again. And now that you are here, like, for the same reason, you must go there, because you must recoil this at some point. You are recoiling 2 things here already, because of this. And did I make a mistake in my solve? Is it possible that I made a mistake in this one? Give me a sec. I think this is broken, like, I think you are correct. Yeah, which one? Sorry. I'm a bit confused. 3, 6, 7, 1. Oh, this one, you mean? Yeah, same problem again. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. I just forgot, but it's like that. Yeah. So yeah, the big problem here is like the fact that you have one direction here, that is this one. So we are going down this way, and when you go down this way, in some ways you do that, this cell can't ever be filled because you need this move going to the right, but this move is done before you do those moves, and so all of this breaks. Yeah. So all this thing was just allowing us to say that this move is not the cell for this. Why all of this is important, is that important? It's that important because when you know that this goes this way, I mean, this goes this way, that this is not the thing that you can do here, so it's not this. Now you can ask, what's going on with the others? Like, which one is the other cell, the other option for this fillable thing? And now we have problems. Why we have problems? Because now the problem is the other cell. Why I'm saying the problem is the other cell? Because now every time you take this cell to be the last one, this one must already be filled, or, well, it must already be filled, and now this one can't be filled by an horizontal move, by a vertical move going down, sorry, and it must be filled by a vertical move, because that vertical move would be after. So, in other words, we are making a stripe of two things that are here or here. But if we take this one, we have problems. Why? Because if this is the case, to go here and take this one, because this one must be taken now, you must do that in some ways. And this means that you must do that and that. So you must make something like this. Even if you don't do that, I mean, you can continue, but the point is that you must make this. And now, though, you don't have options to make the other two horizontal lines in this row, because if you use this, you take this one, and you can't, because this one is before. And if you do this, now you don't have enough space for making those. All of this means that this is not allowed. And so, you could have this option still. This option breaks again. Why? I can't do that. Same reason. We can't make the two horizontal moves here. Or we can make this. I mean, I don't mind what happens down, but the point is that now I must do this and I must do this. And well, this clearly doesn't work. Why? Because this move would just trap this. Would recoil this cell, and this cell must be not used. All of this means that those two recoils are made by those two moves. 1 and 2. And not only that, but now they just go down. So all of this is forced. And when you force all of these, this means that this one is just forcing this, so this one must go up. And now from this point, I need the two moves horizontal here, and I have only two places for making those two. So I make two vertical moves here. This one goes down, and this one now can't just go up. The reason why this just can't go up is, well, because you're going here, and then you can't continue, and so this one, how can you ever recoil this cell at that point? You just can't, so you must recoil it now. And at this point, you can't go down, of course, so you must go up, and when you go up, of course, you fill this cell. There is no other way. And at this point, we don't know what's going on, of course. But we know that we can't continue this way because we don't have two recoils up, so we must recoil this way. And this recoil is an horizontal recoil to the left, so we need the last recoil at the right. And so now this one can't connect, so it must go up again. And now you have this recoil that must be made after all of these. And the only way to make it after all of these is now. So you must make it now. Also, you can't go up and then try to turn down, so it's like that. And now at this point, those just connect. And because they connect this way, this one is done, and now from the ending of the path, you can see that you have this recoil up, and so, I mean, you're just doing 2 steps to the left and recoil this one and this one. This move just recoils here, and so all the upper part of the puzzle now is done as well. And now you can't continue this way because this move is not allowed at all. So you can't go this way now. You can't go this way because if you go this way, you are recoiling here and you can't. So you must recoil with the vertical move here. It's like the vertical move here is forced. So this one and this one are never taken. And at this point, I swear that I will find out what's happening at this point. Give me just a second. Oh yeah, I can't go down, because if I try to go down, I don't have recoils available above. I can't go to the left, because even if this recoils here, then I can't recoil down, I don't have anything. So I must go to the right here, and now I must go down, and when I go down, I recoil here. And when I go down here, I can't continue down, and I can't continue to the left because I have nothing to recoil. As I said already, the top left now is like a wall for my puzzle, so I must go here to the right. When I go to the right, I'm recoiling stuff, of course, and so I'm recoiling this cell, for example. Well, not for example, I'm recoiling exactly that cell, and that means that I can't do this move because this move would not be allowed. I'm not sure. No, sorry, I can't tell that. Oh yeah, it's easier. Okay, if I recoil here, this one must be recoiled here now, and now I have 1, 2, and 3 moves to the right, but only 2 recoils to the left. So I can't do that. So this one must recoil here. So this one must recoil here. Yeah, sorry, that's better. And now that I know this, of course, this one can't just wiggle because I don't have enough space in this long column. So I must continue this way now. And yeah, when I continue this way now, yeah, I know that now this cell is recoiled here because we can't recoil it before. And now that it's closed in this way, this one and those 2 must recoil 1, 2, 3, and 4 steps. So, I mean, I must connect that all the way to recoil 1, 2, 3, and 4, because I have 4 recoils to create. It's not true, sorry, it's not true. It's not true because this one could do that, but in fact you can't do that because you have nothing to recoil, so this one is not allowed, and because this is not allowed, you must do that, and now you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, sorry, this is the right approach, sorry, yeah. Because in theory this one could have been a vertical recoil, that's why it was not true. So, we have all of these. And now I can probably switch to the other page of my screenshots, to this one. Yeah, okay, nice. So, yeah, checking the chat for a second. That does at least have interesting implications, admittedly, but yeah, that step is intense. Yeah, it was. I personally think that this was the hardest step, at least for me, in the whole puzzle. But yeah, it's absolutely intense. I agree. And yeah, okay. We are closing in. This one is almost done. So okay, let's see, yeah, this okay, this other step is peculiar. What we need to do here is understanding that we need in this like in this row, in the row that starts the top part of the puzzle, we need stuff going to the left because of this cell to the right. We need to recoil something else at this point. The problem with this is, how can I do that? Why I'm saying that? Because every one of those moves, of those three moves, could do that. But every one of those three moves creates some problems. If I want this to be this recoil at the end, this means that I'm creating space here. So this one would recoil this cell. So the only way for this to work is like that I do this. So like I need those two to be recoils from somewhere. And because I must recoil them before doing this move, the only way to recoil is to do something like this. Because if I try to do that down, it's even worse, considering that I must reach this part of the puzzle, okay? But when I do that, this is a problem. When I do that, this is a big problem. The reason why this is a big problem is that this would connect this way, and that's fine, okay? But now, how can you ever connect here? Let me try to show. This one goes this way. So you have a step going up here. Probably missed the, sorry, I forgot maybe. I forgot something. Yeah, sorry, just rewind everything I said. Just don't mind everything I said, because there was a thing that I just forgot to mention. And without knowing that, you can't follow me. Sorry, setter number 15, sorry, that's my fault, what I forgot to mention is that in the bottom left there is something that we are missing at the moment. A little bit of information that can be useful. A little bit of information that can absolutely be useful at this point. That must be used above to prove what I was trying to prove, I mean. So, I know here that I have two options. One option is I go here and then I go down. And when you do that, you are using 1, 2, and 3 things. Just let me show you them in green, okay? When you do the other option, you do that. So all of this means that even if we don't know which one of those two paths we are taking, this one in the middle is always, and I mean always, a recoil from the cells below. There is no other way. One of them is a recoil from the cells below, okay? Now, though, this means that when I try to make this one part of the path, so it goes this way because clearly you can't go in the other direction, if you try to do something here, you create, you go, you follow some problems, because if you try to continue this way down, this goes this way and this goes up. But now, this cell recoils down, so this forces this and this forces this, and now you're taking this because we already said that we are using 3 cells here, okay? And this is a problem, of course. But this means, this just means that when you create this one, that was the one I was talking about earlier, and you're doing this, now you must take this one already to make this one this move to the right, but to do that, you must use this one and the one below to be recoiled before. And the only way to recoil them before is to do something that is clearly not this, because this would recoil only once, so you must do that. But then you can't continue. And so all of this means that there is no way for this to be the last recoil. So that last recoil must be one of the others, okay? When you try to make them one of the others though, and like for example you make this, you have another problem, because now you must go this way and you have nothing to recoil from above. That's also an argument anyway for this probably. Yeah, you have nothing from the above. So yeah, I just made an hyper complex thing to just say that this one can't do that. But yeah, that's true. In other words, this one and this one can't be the last one. So the last one must be this. And when you do that, you can't continue, so you must go up. And so this one is taken. Oh, well, I don't know if this one is taken yet. This one could take one below, but yeah. So now I could do this at this point. And now clearly I can't go down because I have nothing to recoil, so I must continue this way. And I'm using 1, 2, 3, and 4 recoils at the right of this row. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ending finally all the half recoils to the right, half right of the grid. All of this means that now we can return at what I was saying about this cell, because now this cell is not working in any kind of situation, in any situation whatsoever. Why I'm saying that? Because if this is true, and I want this to be true, so I'm trying to do that, now all of this means that I can't go to the left because this would recoil here, and so this one is broken. I can't go 2 times down because I don't have 2 recoils there, so I must go here. I must go 2 times to the right. And now, why 2 times to the right is broken? 2 times to the right still creates problems because I'm trying to remember why this creates problems. This absolutely creates problems. That step is, as I would usually say, disgusting. Yeah. Okay. I must remember why this is broken. This was broken because okay, maybe I didn't want to use this. I don't have that exact step in my screens, sorry. And I'm clearly not seeing why this breaks. Trying to see if others had some ideas. But I'm clearly not seeing something. Okay, my screens I have some paths that just break. but not exactly the right one to tell. Okay, like you can't make this move. Absolutely, you just can't make this move. And you can't make this move as well, because if you try to do that, you must make 2 moves vertical and you can't, so this one is not taken into account. So of course this one is always not taken into account. This one as well. Okay. Now I have a point. Okay, those 2 moves up in the top left of the grid must be vertical moves. Okay, so they are vertical moves, and they are excess of this one and this one exactly, because this one can't be an horizontal move, and this one as well can't be an horizontal move because we don't have horizontal moves not recoiled. So those 2 are taken. This means that this one, that is the last that I'm flashing, must be made as an horizontal move of some kind. I don't know which one, but it's an horizontal move, okay? Not only that, I also know that am I just missing something very obvious? Yes, I am, and I just forgot. Yeah, I am. Okay. It's about this column here. Okay, now that we know the top half, we don't have anything going going up in this in the upper side of this. Okay. This whole thing means that all the moves that I'm making here are recoiling down, and down I have already this one, and like let me just place a green X in those moves. Those 2 moves must be vertical moves at a certain point. I don't know which ones they are, but they are vertical moves, okay? Now that I know that they are vertical moves though, I know for sure that they are made by something that goes up. That I think is relevant at this point. Like, one of the reasons I'm saying that is, imagine that you are using this point now here. When you do that, I'm wrong again, sorry. I'm wrong again. Never mind. Sorry, this one is a long puzzle, sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not being the best showcaser at this moment. It's always not. I feel it's my fault because I mean I'm trying to do that to showcase the puzzles. So when but I have the solutions in my screen, but. So if this one goes here, oh yeah, true, true. This one can't just go here because you have this. This one would be recoiled before, but this is the wall. Okay, never mind. Yeah, this one goes down, this one goes here. Okay, yeah, fair. Okay, fair. Absolutely fair. Yeah, sorry, number 15. Like, really, sorry. Okay, this means that you must go exactly straight here. Of course, now this one is just the last of these. This one, text this. Almost an hour and a half, and this is knowing the paths. Yeah, I got stuck 2 times, sorry. Trying to remember, but this one is a long one, and I'm explaining everything, so it's taking a bit. At least we did some shorter ones today, before this one. Anyway, okay, let's see if now with that piece of path we can do a little bit better. So yeah, for example, now is there a way for this to be part of the path? And the answer is no, it just can't. Why I'm saying that it can't? Because if this is true, then this one is just recoiling here, but now those 2 moves are recoiling in the 2 left spots, and this means that this one must go up in some ways, or down, but I mean, you can't go down because of this, so you must go up in some ways, and now, because you only have 1 move, you must do these, you must do these, you must go here, you must go here, and you must go here, and you can't make those 2 moves because, I mean, you don't have enough recoils. So everything I'm saying here, what I'm trying to say, is that there is no way that this one is part of the path. So all of those are never part of the path, okay? And also we know that this one is horizontal. And for what I said before, now also this one must be horizontal, okay? So those 2 moves are horizontal moves. It's just like that. They are horizontal moves of some kind. They could be those 2, of course, okay? But they are horizontal moves. And this is the best I can tell at this part of the puzzle at the moment, okay? Now, though, I have another problem, and this is what's going on in this long column here. What I mean is, imagine that you have this step, okay? I remembered that step that I forgot earlier. If this is the case, above, now this one is just clearing this, and now you have 1, and now 2 and 3 moves, those moves, all of those moves, there are 3 moves that must be recoiled down, but you have only 2 spaces down, so you can't do that. This means that this one is never part of the path. Now, this means, now my question becomes, can I do that at this point? And this is a good question now, because if this is true, clearly I'm recoiling down. Then I'm going this way, and that's fine. But now again, I need those 2 to be recoiled, and I can't. So, like, it's always the same problem that I'm trying to say. Like, here you have 2 plus 1, and you have exactly... Okay, you have these, and then you have exactly those cells. So if you take these, you are just taking 1 more, and that one that you are leaving must be used to recoil the thing that you just created. So in other words, this one is just not allowed. So you must continue this way. So those are now three different things. And now those three different things mean that one of the other two must be used as a vertical move, downwards or upwards. I mean, of course, downwards. Of course, upwards. So you must do that, or you must do that. There is like no other way to make that. But now, if you do that this way, now you don't have enough recoils for that, or you have them. The problem is that you don't have them because, as I said, you need recoils here for the column because you need the stuff down. So if you recoil here and now you are clearly, and I mean clearly, recoiling those three from horizontal moves, now you make these, okay, you recoil these, and then you're done. There is no way to recoil this cell down here, for example, because you have not enough space to recoil that. So the only way to make this work is to recoil upwards this way, and now those three moves are 1, 2, and 3. And so now that you are up, you are recoiling here. This one is done by one cell above. And this one is going this way, recoiling this, and now you can't recoil again, so you must continue, and you must turn at the end. So now this one is done this way, this one is done this way, recoiling this cell. And now that we are here, from this point you have three things going up, so this is exactly 1, 2, and 3. So we must continue this way now, and from this point, and now from this point, let me see if my screenshots are correct. I think they probably are. Yeah. Now I can't go up because if I go up now, I can't go up again. I don't have enough recoils, so I must go to the right, and now this one recoils this cell that must be recoiled from this portion. So I must go to the right, and when I go to the right, I have this, and now here I must go up. And like when I go up here at this point, I can't go to the right because, again, I would use all the possible recoils from this column, so I can't go this way. I can't go up because then when I connect, I use too many recoils for this. If you check, well, there are other, of course, yeah, because this one is recoiling, how can I explain? Yeah, this one is recoiling this cell, so you can't exactly do that. So there is no way for this to go up, so this one must go to the left, and when it goes to the left, this one just connects, and the puzzle is complete. And we have it.